school.
Cooper Lutkenhaus just won the World Indoor Championship in the 800 meter as a 17-year-old. He's actually a full-time high school student in Texas. Let that soak in for a minute. So I'm going to give my take on that race, my perspective, where I actually think he ranks kind of in the world right now. Because if you don't follow track and field all that closely, you might not realize that a lot of athletes, particularly some pretty big name athletes who are, all the way across the pond in Africa, in some other places, don't focus as heavily on the indoor competition. Now, believe me, this is not to take away from Cooper's amazing accomplishment. It's more just to try to shed some light on the whole situation of this amazing young talent. I mean, this is a once in a generation type talent. We're talking like almost like a Prefontaine, type talent here. He's got all the potential in the world, and he's obviously still got some time, lots of time ahead to prove where he's going to stand and how his legacy is going to play out. But let's start off. So he ran 142 in the 800 last summer before the World Championships in Tokyo. Now, the World Championships outdoors didn't really go to his favor. He didn't even make the final. But again, he was 16 years old at the time. Now he's trained up and he's won all of his races in the indoors, including the World Championships. Unbelievable. So he won this World Indoors in 144 and some change. I don't remember the exact number, but the point is he ran a phenomenal race. Cooper followed, we got some lighting situations going on, so apologize for that. The parking lot light is going on and off, so it might be a little distracting. Cooper followed his coach's advice as far as I saw, which was basically get out there, get a strong position, and make your move as soon as you feel like the pace itself is not as honest as Cooper is used to it being. Because, Cooper is he's a phenom. He is a crazy fast runner. He's got an insane kick, especially for a young 17-year-old. And he did just that. At about 300 yards out, he went out to the front, and he took it in, and he was able to hold everybody off. And it was still a close battle at the end. Great race. Now, here's my take on where I think Cooper sits in the world. And again, who knows how this is all going to play out. I'm not trying to say that I don't think that he has a chance to compete with the best in the world. I do. I actually think that Cooper is good enough for sure to make it into the world finals and compete with the best in the world. He is proven himself that he is just an incredible talent. But we got Jamal Shajeti, we got Marco Arop, and we have Emmanuel Wanyonyi. These three characters here, who all did not compete in the world indoor competition, have sat at the top of the biggest podiums for several years now. So let's break this down. I'll take it one at a time here. I'm going all off of memory here, so if I mess up any digits or numbers, just correct me in the comments. But generally speaking, we've got Jamal Shajeti. He was the bronze medalist in Paris in the Olympics. He had won every single race leading up until that moment, and then he took a bronze medal. Unbelievably fast times. I think he sits at like the fourth or maybe the fifth fastest 800-meter time in history, somewhere around there. Then you have Marco Arop from Canada. He is the world champion outdoors from Budapest 2023, and he took a silver medal in Paris at the Olympics. Very fast runner, and he is the third or fourth fastest 800-meter time in history. I think he's actually the third fastest because Wilson Kipketer is tied with Emmanuel Wanyonyi for the second fastest time at, I believe, 141.1. And then, of course, David Rudisha still holds the world record. So then we talk about, and the accolades that these guys have are incredible. We talk about Emmanuel Wanyonyi. He, in my opinion, and it's not just because he's the Olympic gold medalist and the reigning outdoor world champion for the 800, it's also just how he approaches his races. He does have the second fastest time in history, as I said, but this guy is very, very hard to beat, and this is the reason why. Even when he goes against talents such as Shajeti and Arop, his confidence and his blistering speed, I mean, I think he's run like 45.4 in the 400. He just cooks it right from the start. That's what he did leading up into the Olympics and the World Championships for virtually every race. When Wanyonyi just goes right to the front, and typically, I mean, he rarely loses any races. He hasn't lost a lot of races in recent years. He just goes straight to the front and nobody's able to catch him. So my point for saying all of this, and there's other characters as well. We got Donovan Brazier. We got Bryce Hoppel, who's one of the most underrated. Now, Donovan Brazier was injured for quite a substantial period of time, but let's not forget that he is a world champion in the 800-meter distance. Now, Bryce Hoppel does not have any world titles, but I believe he has the American record in the 800. He's run one of the fastest times in history, 7th fastest, I believe, in history. An amazing talent. All of these guys did not show up to World Indoors. So my point in saying all of this is that Cooper obviously is an amazing talent, but a lot of guys do not focus on the indoor. So I'm trying to just give a little bit of perspective here into how deep of a field this 800 field actually is when all of these crazy characters, amazing talents actually show up to the start line. So I do believe that Cooper has proven himself. He is an amazing runner, and I am very excited to see how things go into outdoors. Of course, this is an off year. There is not any Olympics. There is not a World Outdoor Championship, but there is Diamond League, and I'm sure there's other races that these guys want to do, but primarily the Diamond League, because that's where a lot of these guys make their money and their sponsorships, is by placing high in this Diamond League and then ultimately trying to be the Diamond League champion. So I'm speculating here. To be 100% honest, I don't exactly know all the reasons for why Bryce Hoppel and Wanyonyi and all these other guys did not do the World Indoors, but I do know that there has been kind of a history from some of these guys, especially from like Kenya and other places, to not focus their energy traveling across the pond to do things like the World Indoors and instead focus on other goals. So just wanted to put this out there. This is my take. I understand that other people might have a completely different take. I'm not saying that Cooper doesn't stand a chance at all. He's young, and I think he has a great chance of becoming a world champion and an Olympic gold medalist, and even possibly breaking the world record at some point. I think all of these things could happen in his future. It's just that right now, I don't actually see him being the very top of the world with some of these other guys. I'd love to hear your perspective on it, though. This 800-meter field is so incredibly densely packed with talented athletes. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of what we see right now with the 1500. Of course, Ingebrigtsen has been hurt, but you got Josh Kerr, Cole Hawker, Jared Naguse. You even got Hobbs Kessler, who seems to fly under the radar. He's got a world record under his belt. I mean, between the 800 and the 1500 and even the 5000, it is a very, very stacked middle distance. So, without any further ado here, if you've made it this far in the video, I would love if you hit the like and the subscribe button. It means a lot to me if you do that. I'm trying to bring more exposure to this amazing sport of track and field, and I will catch you guys all on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.